Hi guys, how are you today? Welcome to my channel. My name is Shanda and I hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. I know I am having an amazing day, so I really hope that you guys are as well. Now first off, do not ask what happened to my hair. I should know by now, you guys, I cannot curl my own hair. I should know that. I don't know if it's because it's so short and thin and crappy, or if it's the cut. Like what is this here? I don't know. But I suck at curling my own hair, and I should know that by now, and I do know that, but I just keep trying and trying, and it looks like this every time. My hair is like the shortest, thinnest, crappiest hair, and all I want is long hair, and I've tried everything, like hair jazz, and I stopped dyeing my hair for several years. Nothing works. You will never see my hair longer than this, you guys, ever. It drives me nuts, but I wanted to do something different, so I tried to curl it, and whatever. I'm sorry about that. Moving on. Okay. So James Charles, you guys, he is in it again. It looks like James Charles is again in a scandal. Now this time it is a 16-year-old boy. It's a 16-year-old boy. He is a TikTok star by the name of Isaiah, and I believe he has like 213,000 followers or something like that. He ended up making a video on TikTok calling out James Charles for grooming him and soliciting nudes from him and sending him nudes. So when I heard about this, I checked it out and I saw there's like a lot of people saying that this is a pattern of behavior. This is like the 6th time he's done it. This shows a pattern of behavior, and I was like, wait a minute. This isn't like the 6th time. What are you talking about? So, because there's everybody saying that, let's go ahead and go through all of the allegations against James Charles and see, like, if this really is a pattern of behavior, how many times he's actually done it, and see what's going on, and then we will look into the new allegations. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Yeah. Okay guys, so the first allegation that came out against James Charles, well, it wasn't really an allegation, it was just like a scandal. Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson conspired to take James Charles down. I don't know if they were jealous of him or what was going on there, but they conspired to take him down, and they were calling him a predator and a danger to society, and they had no proof. Well, Jeffree Star claims that he has proof, but I mean, no one's ever heard it except, you know, Blair White claimed to have heard it, but I don't know. But anyways, so Tati Westbrook, that is when she made her Bye Sister video, and James Charles lost millions of subscribers literally overnight, and then everybody found out that all that crap wasn't true, so he got all his subscribers back and everything was fine. But that is what kind of started everything, and that put a target on James's back. So after that, the next thing that happened was a waiter at Tati Westbrook's birthday party. His name was Sam Cooke, and he came out with some allegations, I guess. Not really allegations, just his story with James Charles. Okay guys, so the story goes that Tati Westbrook had a birthday party, and James Charles was there, Jeffree Star was there. I'm not sure if Shane Dawson was there or not, but it was at the restaurant called John Howie. And while at this restaurant, James spotted a waiter, and he thought that he was super cute, really attractive. He really liked him, and the waiter said that he could tell that that James kind of liked him, that he kept staring at him and stuff like that. And I guess James Charles talked to another waiter there about this guy, and asked if he could like talk to him, but they never told him. Nothing came of it or anything like that. And then the birthday party was over, and everybody left, and that was that. Well, the waiter, Sam Cooke, he messaged James Charles first. This guy messaged James Charles the next day first. Now, he says that his sister talked him into messaging him or whatever, but, I mean, he still messaged James first. And here's the messages. It says, LOL, it's Sam the Busser from John Howie. And James says, OMFG. Sam says, LMAO, how are you? Ha ha ha. James says, sorry about last night. You're very, very attractive. LMAO. And Sam says, it's all good, very flattering, actually. And James says, love that. I did not think you were 19. Oh my god, I am too. So, okay, I just thought of something. Something just dawned on me. This guy messaged James, and unless his, like, waiter friends told James the night before how old he was, how would James know how old he was? It's not in the messages there. So that tells me that James went and looked at his Instagram or whatever they're messaging on and saw how old he was. That's what that is telling me. So, like, all of this stuff where James said he didn't know how old these people were, that doesn't look very good. I just noticed that. Anyway, so James and this guy, Sam Cooke, they started talking and having, like, kind of like a relationship a little bit. Wait, no. Okay, so James and this guy, Sam, they hung out, and I guess they went to a hotel room or something, and they were hanging out, and they ended up making out for like over an hour or something. And this Sam Cooke guy says, by the way, just for the record, James is the worst kisser ever. Way too much tongue. Okay. But anyway, so they were making out and everything, and they left. Everything was fine. And then after that, they continued talking, and James invited Sam to LA. And that is when Sam decided that he was actually not into James, or he was actually not bisexual anymore, or something like that. So that's when he told James that, this is what he said. This is what he said. He said, hey, so I took some time to think about it. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure I'm straight. But I really enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you, and maybe that confused me. I don't want you to think I'm leading you on or using you, because I'm pretty sure that's happened to you in the past. If you don't want me to fly down or don't want anything to do with me, I completely understand, but I really have enjoyed getting to know the person that you are. Now, James replied with, and he says, I guess I'm just a little confused. When I first messaged you asking, you told me you were bisexual right away. Then it turned to you not really knowing. Now it turned to, and we don't have the rest of it, but I'm guessing this, that he's straight. But now that right there kind of contradicts James forcing himself on straight men. So, like, this guy says he's straight, and then James says, I'm confused. You told me you were bisexual right away. So, I mean, how was he forcing himself on straight men? Because obviously this guy told him he was bisexual. Obviously this guy thought he was bisexual. But, I don't know. After that, he says, they're talking about something else. This is the only other screenshot we have, but James says, when you're drunk, the truth always comes out. So, and Sam says, not always, but I just wanted to make sure we split on good terms. And James says, yes, always. You're not straight no matter how many times you tell yourself, and I hope you figure that out sooner rather than later. And no, we didn't split on good terms. And the kid said, how do you know that though? Now, I know James got a lot of backlash for telling this kid that you're not straight no matter how many times you tell yourself that, and people are like saying, well, that's how he was forcing himself on straight men. But really, if you think about it, say you're gay, okay, say you're gay, and like I was talking to a girl, and we hung out, and we made out a bunch and cuddled, and then she left and everything was great, and then all of a sudden she told me she was straight. I would think either she just doesn't like me, or she is just trying to tell herself that she's straight and she's not really straight. Like, I would think, like, how are you straight? Like, we just, you know, you obviously enjoy, I mean, maybe you just don't like me. I would be confused in thinking those thoughts too. So I don't want to give him too much, like, scrutiny for saying that. He was probably upset and hurt and whatever as well. But, so that's the story with Sam Cooke. So let's go ahead and move on to the next guy. Now, his name is Gage Gomez. Okay, and I forgot to mention that Sam Cooke, he did make a video about his experience with James Charles. I'll link that down below if you guys want to go and watch the whole thing. Now, the next guy, Gage Gomez. Now, he says that he never told James Charles that he was bi-curious at all. He said he never told him he was bi-curious, bisexual, or anything. He says he told him from the very start that he was completely straight, he was not into anything like that, and he just wanted to be friends. Okay, so this guy, Gage, he went to Coachella with James Charles, and he was very friendly with James. He was holding his hand, he was kissing him, he was cuddling with him, and this was all out, like, in public. And so I don't know. I don't get it. Like, he said that he told him he was straight from the start, and James tried to convince him otherwise, convince him he was something that he wasn't. But if he was holding hands with him and cuddling with him and kissing him, then I don't see how, like, James would have thought different. I mean, I would think that he wasn't fully straight if he was doing that with me. I don't really get that. You told him you were straight from the start, but you're kissing him and holding hands with him in public and doing, you know, all those things. So I would be confused as well. This is what the guy said in his video.
January 2019, I receive a DM from this person. I'm sure you guys all know who I'm talking about. I proceeded to respond as a friend. James then...
Hold on, guys. Hang on. What was that laugh? I just heard that. It sounds like a girl laughed and then they did a jump cut. Let's take a look.
I proceeded to respond as a friend. James... Yeah, there's a laugh there. And then they did a jump cut. That's just... I mean, that's probably nothing, but... Okay. Anyway, let's continue. James then saw this as an opportunity to manipulate me as a person who may or may not have been trying to figure things out about their sexuality.
Hold on a second. Hold on. This guy... How does he know right off the bat that James saw this as an opportunity to manipulate him? He says someone who may or may not have been curious about their sexuality. Well, he says that he told James from the start that he was straight, he was not bi-curious at all, not into any of that whatsoever. But why would he say that James wanted to manipulate somebody who might have been curious about their sexuality? I don't know. Let's keep watching.
After the fact of telling him that I was straight multiple times.
Okay, so he says he tells him he was straight multiple times, but why would someone who may or may not have been exploring their sexuality? I don't know. Let's look.
He then started to begin putting a little bit of pressure on me, of getting to know me without, like, disregarding the fact that I told him I was straight. Because, as you all know, this person, 99.9, maybe even 100% of the times, goes after heterosexual men. I told James I wasn't interested in any of that. We then stopped talking for a while. He headed to...
Okay, so let's just say, like, okay, so he said he wasn't interested in any of that, and James was putting pressure on him, so why did he go to, like, Coachella with him and stuff? It just doesn't make too much sense to me. Now, after his video, I'll link the entire video down below. I just didn't want this video to be super duper long. I know my last couple of videos was like over an hour long, so I didn't want that. So I will link the full videos down below, but this kid just basically says the whole time that he told him from the start he was completely straight, nothing like that, he wasn't interested in anything like that, and James just tried to manipulate him into thinking that he might have been bisexual. So, you know, if you watch that, you're like, that's kind of shitty of James. But then I got these text messages. Let's take a look at these. Who is who here? My friends and I are, oh, okay, that was Gage. Okay, James is Blue. My friends are the most important people in my life, and although the little red flags made them upset, those issues are not the most important ones. You only address the problems that made them dislike you, rather than talking about how you treated me. Then he says, you ignored the kissing, the public handhold kiss. Hold on. You ignored the kissing, the public hand-holding kiss, the photos and stories and feelings portions of my message, which is what actually matters if you were trying to figure things out. Quote, Gage said, sorry, I wanted to wait to get back to you till later. I have class until 8 p.m. Also, if you want to talk face to face, I don't have class tomorrow. Also, that video, that's not you, is it? Looks so fake, even if it is two people. I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, but let's keep reading. James says, yes, I somehow managed to get onto the Ferris wheel and suck someone else's thing when you weren't paying attention. Okay, so somebody probably put a fake picture of James. And, okay, so if this guy is completely straight, he just wants to be friends, he doesn't give a crap, then why would he even be asking? Like, that wasn't you, was it? I don't know. But he says, Gage says, either good Photoshop or two people actually going wild. Okay, so the second one, let's keep looking here. The next message says, I don't think that I will have time to meet up in person tomorrow, and I also don't think it's a good idea. If you have a response, I'll look forward to reading it tonight when you get out of class. Gage says, okay, if you change your mind, I'm free. If not, I'll get it to you tonight. And James says, I'm physically in New York for less than 8 hours, so I'm not going to have time. You can text me your response later. Which this kind of, I didn't think about this before, but why is the kid so adamant about meeting up in person? Maybe he just wants to meet him in person. Maybe he doesn't want there to be a text message trail of this. I don't know. I mean, you can speculate on so many sides in all these situations, so I don't know. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. And Gage says, hey, I think we should talk in person, seriously. Wherever you are, I like to swing by, take like 2 minutes or whatever. He says, why should I give you the time of day? And what the are you going to tell me in 2 minutes? Gage says, I mean, I wasn't being an asshole. I was seriously being honest with you the entire time, James. I don't care what anyone is saying. This doesn't sound like guys that are just friends. I don't know. Anyway, I went with an open mind and I tried. Some people just aren't meant to be with other people. That's the truth, and you won't know until you're with someone. Am I wrong? James says, you went for a free Coachella ticket and did just enough to make me think you liked me, all while taking photos and hanging on me in public for attention. You knew you didn't want to be with me at all, or be with me all along, and you still went for a free ride. Gage says, I told you to your face I'm not going to say I liked you and you know that. No, that's not true. James says, "You're a piece of shit, dude, and I hope that you never do this to anyone else." Gage says, "Dude, you know I was being honest." Just to clarify, you're telling me you've come to the conclusion that there's no feelings there, correct? And Gage says, "What you're saying is not false, and yes, I did go to Coachella with you, but I did not deliberately go out there to hurt you. Answer my question with either correct or incorrect, nothing else." No, man, there's not. You know I went there to meet you and find out if there was feeling. But again, I'm always being true with you and to be honest with you. No, there's not feelings, and that is what I found out. It's not you, though. I really liked you, but I'm not attracted to men, and I think you're really cool and awesome and all that stuff, so face-to-face closure would be nice. I'm just sorry you hate me so extremely because I never wanted you to feel like that. I hope you feel like that's a fair response. James says, "Cool. I hope you've learned from this. If you ever find out, or if I ever find out that you did this to someone again, I promise you you'll be sorry. Do not talk about me or post anything or photos, and please don't contact me again." So they go on and on about how James thinks that Gage just used him for a free ride and a free ticket to Coachella, and he wanted to get attention by being seen with James Charles, and he knew the whole time that that there was no feelings there, and Gage is saying, "No, man, you know, that's not what happened, blah, blah, blah." So, I'm sorry, but this doesn't seem to me, whoa, this doesn't seem to me like, oh my Lord, have mercy. This is brand new, so it's kind of like falling off. Okay, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't seem to me like this guy told James from the start that he was not bi-curious at all in any way, and James just manipulated him into thinking so. It seems to me like this guy told James that he was curious and he might be into men, and he went out there to be with James and to see, and then he realized that he was not into men. And being this the second time that that's happened to James, James probably thinks now that these guys are probably just using him by telling him that they're bi-curious and they get what they want out of him, and then they're like, "Okay, never mind, I'm not." So like this, I don't see how this is even a scandal to begin with. I don't understand it. I mean, James didn't do anything wrong here. It seems like at all that he did nothing wrong, so I don't quite understand why everybody is, you know, freaking out about saying that he goes after, or he forces himself on straight men, because it really seems like the straight men just were curious, and then they found out that they weren't, that they didn't like that, but they were curious at first. So I don't see how that's anybody's fault, you know? By the way, you guys, I got this awesome thing in my BoxyCharm box this month. It is this brow bar, and like, dude, it comes with like these dark and lighter eyebrows, and then the brush for it, and a concealer and highlighter and a brow pencil and some tweezers. That's pretty awesome, I thought. I've never seen anything like it, and I really like it. Well, okay, so he's telling him he's straight, he's not attracted to men, but he definitely didn't tell him that from the start, because he just said that he wanted to go there and see if there was any feelings and he wanted to spend time with him. So he definitely didn't tell James that from the start. So that pokes a lot of holes in his little video there that he put up. Okay, so the next one, let's see. He says, "No, I will say the truth that I told you. I was exploring my sexuality. Bi-curious is a real thing." Okay, so this kid says that he told him from the start he was straight, he was not into anything like that, he wasn't bisexual, he wasn't bi-curious, but that was a lie, because he's right here telling James that he was exploring his sexuality and he was bi-curious. Bi-curious is a thing. I know you bought the flight because you wanted me to stay, and it was the only flight back without being an 18-hour flight in UK, and we stayed up looking. And James said, you told me you wanted to stay because you were having fun. And Gage says, and I really thank you and appreciate you providing me a place to stay and a ticket, of course. Everyone will be informed that what happened because it's the truth. And James says, you were never curious though. You just wanted a trip to Coachella and to be seen with someone. And he says, how the hell do you know that, James? If I say I'm bi-curious, you just can't say no, you're not. I mean, he's saying right here that he was bi-curious, so I don't know. So they go back and forth, you know. But it definitely tells me that James did not manipulate this person into thinking that he was bi-curious or bisexual when he's not. So let's go ahead and move on from this to the next scandal. Because it's like, case closed. Okay. I also got these awesome, pretty brushes from BoxyCharm as well this month for Valentine's Day. They got these little teeny tiny hearts in them. Anyways, moving on to July of last summer, 2020, a kid named Ethan Andrews. He is was a TikTok star with 330,000 followers or something like that. Now this kid came out and said that James Charles groomed him and that he wanted to talk about his experience, which I think is great, you know. I thought my wall was on fire. Which I thought at first, you know, wow, James Charles, this kid says that James Charles groomed him and he wanted to come out with his story. So everybody was like, whoa, this is a huge deal. Well, this kid came out with his this video on YouTube and told the story, and let's go ahead and watch that video now, or I'm not sure how long it is, so we might skim through it, but let's take a look.
Yeah, so I'm reposting the video because I guess YouTube took it down. James Charles did send me nudes and I did blur him out, but I guess it was inappropriate context, supposedly content, and it's just crazy how YouTube won't let this get out there. Honestly, he deserves to be stopped, and this is not right, but these videos will come out soon and I will make sure of it because this is not right.
What is going on, guys? So by the title of this video, you know this is a very disgusting, scandalous video that's probably going to be very controversial. The reason why I'm here today is because Ethan didn't feel comfortable enough filming this alone after numerous threats made to him by James Charles. So before we get this video started, speaking on his behalf, because I know he's scared, but you know I'm not scared of anybody or anyone.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
But anyways, a lot of people are gonna say you're doing this for clout. A lot of people are gonna say this is fake, but it's not fake. You know, there's receipts, there's proof to back it up. So at the end of the day, whatever type of person you are, that's what will reflect on you. That's all I'm saying. But he's gonna speak his truth and nothing but his truth. So before y'all even start to hate or anything, if you have anything negative to say, just click off the video. Go somewhere else with it. But you got it, bro.
Alright, so about a couple months ago, back in March, I would say, one of my homeboys were on James Charles Live, and he was like, bro, like, join this, like, let's just troll. And, like, we were just putting random stuff and just trolling, and my friend was like, yo, like, I bet you won't DM him, and I wasn't thinking anything of it. I said, alright, bet, I'm gonna DM him. So I DM him, and I guess the next day he responds, and he tells me, why do you keep texting me? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't keep texting you, like what are you talking about? And he just kind of ignores the subject, because I sent him like a picture back of me, and I guess, I don't know, he finds me attractive or whatever. I don't know what he was hiding in his brain.
Okay guys, so I want to stop it right there for a second. He's already coming out saying that he was trolling James Charles and he was messing with him, and then he DM'd him as a joke, and then James messaged him the next morning and was like, why do you keep texting me? And he said he wasn't, but if James is gonna say that, then maybe he was. Maybe he did keep texting him like stuff all night. But let's continue.
Going on. He asked me what my age was, and I told him I was 14 years old, and he told me I was very young. And I said, yeah, and he said, add me on Snapchat because I'll feel more comfortable talking on there. And so I said, okay, like, let's do it, like, bet.
Okay, so I do believe him when he says that James asked him to add him on Snapchat because he'll feel more comfortable talking there. And I think that is because, of course, Snapchat deletes messages after you look at them or after that day or whatever, and it tells you if you send a screenshot. So it tells me right there that James is already kind of looking out for himself. I don't know if the kid really did tell him he was 14, but let's continue.
And me not knowing anything, like, I just think that's cool. Like, James Charles, like, 18, 17 million followers, like, once we add him on Snap, like, not even in a clout way, like, I'm just saying, like, that's dope, like, in an influencer, like, everybody knows who he is pretty much. I was like, that's awesome. And so I thought it was cool, and he just started getting a little too comfortable with me and just pushing it over the limits, knowing I was underage. And I started talking to him about it, and he didn't really believe it until he saw it with his own eyes, James Charles being so pushy and just making me feel uncomfortable to the max. And I honestly, like, he was like, I guess he was trying to get me into thinking I was bisexual or gay, whatever y'all want to call it, but he was asking me to send nudes, and he kept wanting me to go to LA, and he kept sending me nudes, and I kept just sending me a picture back. I didn't respond, I just let him send a picture back to me, and he would leave it on open, and then snap me like a few hours later sending me another picture of his like ass. You know, I'm just gonna say, like, it made me feel super uncomfortable. And so yeah, like, honestly, like, I'm not making this video to cancel him. I'm just trying to help others out there, because there's a lot of kids that are my age that think it's awesome that James Charles is asking to add him on Snapchat, but in reality he's trying to make you think that you are something you're not. And I don't want that happening to anybody else. And to all the parents and everybody watching this video, I'm trying to help you out for the future with your kids, and to make sure always, like, stay in touch, like ask them, like, check their phones, whatever you know to do, you know, because, like, there's people like him.
James is a child predator. My thing is, you asked him how old you were, and when he told you he was 14 years old, you still continued to try to force yourself on a minor, a little kid. So my thing is, like, I don't know, I just don't think that's cool. That's disgusting. You're 21 years old, and you want a 14-year-old? Out of all the people in LA, there's 4 million people in LA, and you choose to try to force yourself on a 14-year-old. I don't know, I just don't think this is right or okay, and I don't think he should just be walking around, you know, being able to keep doing what he's doing. In the past, I've heard things, you know, he's had plenty of scandals. I've actually heard him, like, trying to force himself on guys, but I never believed it. You know, you always think that, oh, maybe people are just trying to just demolish his image or tear him down because he's at a higher power. But my thing is, at the end of the day, it's just like, wow, all of that stuff is true, and everything you've ever heard, it's true. That's actually who he is as a person. And like I said again, I'm not trying to, like, destroy anybody's image or tear anyone's character down, but, you know, that's just not cool. He's 14 years old. He's, like, basically my little brother. He's my little brother. So I just don't understand why you felt the need to force yourself on a 14-year-old and sending him nudes and videos of you when he continued to tell you he was uncomfortable and he didn't want to send you nudes back. And it's not cool. I mean, I know that, you know, you're king or queen, whatever you want to call it, of manipulation, but he's only 14 years old, and threatening him, saying you're going to do this, you're going to do that, just so he's your little toy so you can play with him whenever you want, is not cool at all. And there definitely should be consequences for it.
Okay, so this kid talking has obviously seen all the screenshots, because he knows a lot more and he's talking about the conversation or whatever. So if this guy has seen it, why isn't this kid showing anything?
So last night, a buddy of mine sent me a video link to Logan Paul's podcast with James Charles on it, and he asked me if James Charles was talking about me. I was like, what? And so I watched the video, and James Charles was talking about this TikTok boy that he was always trying to fly out, and he wouldn't because he would always make excuses about family problems. And that was me. Like, I would always make excuses because I didn't want to go out there. I felt uncomfortable about family problems. And when I did say I would come out there, like hangout was, I said I was gonna come out with him, which is like my brother, like older brother, and he got very defensive and mad about it actually. And he said, well, if I fly you out here, I want you to stay with me, all this and all that. And I didn't know what to do, and I just felt very uncomfortable. And so
keep in mind he's 14 years old. You want to fly a 14-year-old boy out to your house? That's weird. That is mad weird.
And so I continued watching his podcast, and I'm just like, yo, like I think this is like towards me. Like it's honestly like everything that he talks about in his podcast, like I told him, like it was always excuses, like always something, and it was always that because I always felt uncomfortable. And he exaggerated a lot. He said we were talking. I never agreed to that. I never said I was bisexual to him. I never any of that. None of that. And he was trying to get me to think I was, but I really wasn't. And so I texted him like, yo, like I think there's shade being thrown. Like, what are you talking about me? And he was like, oh no, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about some Romanian boy. And I was like,
what?
Nick. And
which I think is Nick Austin.
Yeah, but it's all good because he then said it was a guy named Nick from LA, which is kind of like, who would that be? Honestly, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about other kids out there this happening to them. I feel like honestly a part of me will never be the same. I'm honestly still uncomfortable to the situation to this day. There's so much more that I could honestly say. Yeah, and he also told me that if I make any video about him or do anything, he will come after me and destroy me and make my life a living hell.
Okay, so why isn't he showing that? If he's threatening him, that's something that people want to see.
And so he tried playing mind games with me, saying I told him I was 18, which I never did, and all this and all that last night. And
he tried to say he never sent me nudes.
He tried to say that he doesn't send nudes. He's never sent me nudes, which y'all saw from the beginning of the video. All the proof is right there.
Okay, so this guy is seeing the conversation. Why can't we see it?
See that right there. I'm making this video because I want you to stop threatening me and putting threats on me and saying you're gonna come after me and destroy me. And it just needs to stop, James, honestly. And I know you're gonna try to dig yourself out of this hole that you're in, but honestly, I don't think you will be able to. And this is all with the bottom, like just my whole heart, everybody. I just want all the kids out there to understand that just because there's a big influencer texting you doesn't mean they can control your life, and don't let that happen to you. And thank God I was smart enough because he's taught me a lot in like how to live life, the real way. And I just want other kids to realize that and understand that. And I just want to say one more thing to James, please do not threaten me anymore. Please don't try to come after me or my family, do any of that. Those are my final words to you.
So here is some of the proof that this kid provided that he was talking to James Charles. Now, he is talking to him, but why did he delete everything that he said and he's only screenshotting what James said? Like, it's very suspicious that he deletes everything he says, but what is he saying? Like, it's odd.
Suspicious.
Here's another screenshot that Ethan provided, and this screenshot as well. He deleted everything he said and is just keeping everything that James said. So we don't know what he said to James. We don't know the context of the conversation. After that, a YouTuber named Dustin Daly was given the receipts and the conversation by James, and he went ahead and made a video, and he didn't show the receipts, but he read the whole conversation. I don't know why nobody's showing the receipts, but let's see what Dustin said in his video.
But James sent me some DMs, and it was a picture of this kid in the mirror, and then it was James saying the eye roll emoji, and he said LOL back again, and this guy said, nah, just got something to say. James said, question mark, someone sent me that podcast of you and Logan. Kind of felt like shade was thrown. And James replied to him and said, at you? And this guy replies and says, yeah. James replied to him and said, I promise that I haven't thought about you since you blocked me on Snapchat for the 3rd time, LOL. This guy says, just kind of strange how everything you said on that podcast was kind of everything I told you, family problems, etc. James replied and said, no, it was actually about a Romanian boy that I was talking to from LA for a few weeks. As I said, I haven't thought about you. The kid sends another picture and it's just him like... And James went on to say, you can believe what you want. It wasn't about you, but clearly the shoe fits. Enjoy your night then. This guy then replies to James and says, stop lying. We was friends. James said, dead emoji. How are you going to come into my DMs accusing me of speaking about you on a podcast where I talked about a guy I was talking to that didn't work out, and then 5 minutes later say we didn't talk? This guy says, we didn't talk. You exaggerated. Hella. James replied and said, you said you were bisexual and were into me and that I was beautiful, LMAO. I'm sorry that you're insecure and embarrassed about your sexuality. This guy replies and says, hell nah. And James says, have a nice night. And this kid then says something that really sent up a red flag for me. He said, scandal time, ? I was like, really? Who says that? So James Charles said, go for it, bud. I did nothing wrong. Enjoy your night in life. To which this guy replied and said, you never asked for my age. You sent a minor nude. James replied and said, you told me you were 18. I don't send nudes to anyone, so no, I didn't, LOL. Now, I don't have the screenshot, but I was sent a screenshot from another drama channel that was in contact with James, where James Charles did ask for this guy's age, and it was sent in one of those things that disappear, so I'm assuming that he did say he was 18 to James. Even in this guy's video, he said that him and his friends were trolling, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna message James, and I'm gonna say this, da-da-da-da-da, and this is pretty much what makes me believe that James Charles is not lying in the fact that he did think that this kid was 18. So after all that, this guy replies and says, LMFAO, no I didn't, you always lie. You were known for making straight guys you, but I didn't know you didn't care if they were minorities. James replied and said, I hope you find something better to do with your evening. This guy replied and said, I don't even look 18. Come on now, James, stop lying. You sound dumb. Like you said, have a nice night.
Okay, so if these are what the receipts say, that's very problematic right there. The kid said in his video that James asked him how old he was, and he said 14. And then he just told James, you never even asked my age. And you could tell that the kid was he was trying to argue with James, and James refused to argue with him. So the kid was getting mad and trying to get him to argue with him. You could really see that on that, if that's what was being said anyway. So after this, it kind of just blew the whole thing wide open, and everybody said that this kid was lying, and even his own friends came out and said that he was lying and that he planned to do this to James Charles. And here's one of his friends, message from his friend. He said, hey, I have stuff on that Ethan boy that made the fake James Charles vid. It's all fake. We were friends. I told him not to do this numerous times. He did not listen. He queerbaited James for clout and was using him. I even called the day he made the video and was so disappointed with him. But I don't know. I just feel I need to do what's right. This hate train with James has to stop. So that was one of his friends said that he faked the whole situation. And then there was someone else that came out, and this kid says, I literally know this kid personally, and he literally would not friends with a gay guy, so I don't think he was DMing him to be friends. And obviously he lied about his age because he passes as an 18-year-old. And after all of this and everybody figuring out this kid made it all up and that he lied, this kid got super pissed and made a video coming out and just yelling, and he was so frustrated. Here's that video.
He kept taking it too far. I didn't know what to do. I was stuck in a position where I didn't know what to do. So for everybody saying, oh, where's the receipt? Saying, oh, you were 14 years old. I don't have it. I don't have the receipts. At the time, I wasn't thinking this would happen. I started feeling uncomfortable, and I thought I would have to come out to the public talking about this whole situation. Because there might be kids out there my age that this has happened to, and they want to get it out, but they're too afraid. So I'm standing up for myself, just as well as these other kids that it's probably happened to. Come on now, Jay. What makes you think that this one is not true, okay? What makes you think that he wasn't talking to a 14-year-old boy, huh? Oh, there's no receipt saying I'm 14 years old. My age is on the internet. I am a public figure. I have 330,000 followers on TikTok. I have a fan base. I have people that care about me. He knew my TikTok. I have little girls commenting on my Instagram. There's no one older than 18 in my Instagram comments. I don't have facial hair. I don't have any facial hair. That? No, I don't look 18 years old. What are you talking about? I'm sick of everybody accusing me for all of this. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm trying to help you out. If this has ever happened to you, I'm trying to speak out so all these other kids will speak out like I did. I'm just trying to help everybody. I'm sick of this. Like, come on, when are we all gonna come together and cancel this dude? He deserves to be imprisoned. Come on now, my age is on the internet, like I said. And for everybody talking about this should have been done behind the screen, police authorities, all that. I'm trying to get this out there. So just in case your daughter, your son, maybe yourself is dealing with this, I'm trying to get kids to speak out on this situation. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. I put my socials in the bio because maybe people want to check me out, you know? Like, you never know. Like, honestly, I put my friend's channel in the bio. Like, what's so wrong with that? That's me clout chasing? What are you talking about? I don't want nothing to do with this. I was trying to help kids out, and I'm getting hate for that. I'm getting hate for it. And I'm just sick of this, you know? Yeah, there's no proof of me saying 14. But James Charles said I was 18. Where's the proof?
Yeah, that just doesn't really, that doesn't sound that great at all. But, so pretty much everybody decided that this kid was faking everything. So that just went away. And it's been about 7 months since then, and that went away. So those are all the allegations and all the scandals from James from the very beginning. So he had two guys come out and say that they were straight or whatever, so people thought that James was like forcing himself on straight guys. And then there was this Ethan kid. That's all. So let's look into the allegations that came out last week. So this kid Isaiah, he's a TikTok star also. He has about 213,000 followers or something, whatever I said earlier. And this kid came out with this video.
Okay, so trigger warning. I will be talking about grooming and James Charles. So if you get triggered by any of those, keep scrolling. But if not, watch this video, please. So last Wednesday on the 17th, James Charles snapped me on Snapchat. He added me back because I had snapped him a while ago, just like a fan to influencer conversation. I was excited because he's my biggest influencer-wise, and I've always looked up to him, so I was excited to get his message back. I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna post proof of it right now. This is the notification that I got when he Snapchatted me first. And just for further proof, he deleted the chat. I don't know what he deleted, but that's me opening his Snapchat. I went into the bathroom, and I guess he saw the bathroom light, so he started making the conversation very sexual, and it made me really uncomfortable. And I'll post some of the stuff that he sent me now. You can't see it because it's blurry, because I took it on my iPad, because I didn't want him to see that I screenshotted it, but I'll post it right now. He proceeded to send me explicit pictures of his body. More in part 2. So this is part 2 of the James Charles story. So after sending me that first picture of his body, explicitly, he sent me multiple after that, and I'll post them now. I was getting really uncomfortable, so I told him my age. I told him I'm 16. Meanwhile, he's 21.
The kid is just now getting uncomfortable, but he's been screenshotting everything this whole time. Now, some people said that as, well, he was planning something the whole time, but I honestly really think that it was probably just he actually got a message back from an influencer that he really looks up to, like this huge influencer, so he wanted to screenshot it to like show his friends or whatever that he was actually talking to James Charles.
He's a grown man. And then he proceeds to say, oh, but I didn't even get to see meaning my body. And after telling him, like, no, like, I'm not going to send it to you, he kept on asking for pictures and videos of body hair and me flexing and stuff.
Body hair? He wants pictures of body hair? Who even asked for something like that? Who wants pictures of body hair?
He proceeded to ask to FaceTime me, which I then said no to, and then I asked why. And this is what he said. It's sad to say that I can't even look up my biggest influence the same again. I've heard multiple stories about him doing this to people, but you never believe it until it happens to you. So now I'm a big believer of what James Charles does to other people, and it sucks because he has so much going for him, and he does this to himself. All I ask from TikTok is to try to boost this video as much.
Okay, so that is what that kid said. And after that kid made that video, James Charles released his statement, which says this. Okay, so he says, there's a video going around about me on TikTok and Twitter of a guy calling me a groomer, and I want to address it right away. The accusations that I have groomed this person is completely false. Last week, I came across someone on my Instagram Explore page, saw he followed me, and added him on Snapchat. The next morning, I woke up to several snaps from this person being excited I added him back, saying he loved me, and also lewd photos of himself in the shower. I asked how old he was right away, and he told me he was 18, so I started flirting back in the excitement of meeting someone I thought could be potentially great. I didn't ask for a copy of his ID or passport. It's now clear based on the video he uploaded, he was taking photos of me with another device and had an ulterior motive from the beginning. Later in the day, he said a few things that made me question the validity of his original answer, and when I asked him to confirm his age once again, he admitted he was 16. I told him I was really uncomfortable and apologized for flirting, but he insisted on continuing talking, saying it could be our little secret. He's a fan of mine and would never tell anyone. I told him I wasn't okay with this. He started getting upset. At this point, I unfriended him. We haven't spoken since. I'm not victim blaming or victimizing myself either, simply sharing what happened. And what happened was not okay. After false allegations like this in the past, I would never knowingly engage with anyone underage and put myself on the line for a few Snapchats. Because of situations like this, instead of taking someone's word for it, I now will ask to see an ID or passport of every guy I have a conversation with. Okay, so James pretty much admitted to sending nudes to a 16-year-old boy. Now, he says that he would not throw his career away or throw himself away for a couple of snaps, but he did. I mean, he did. And you would think, this has already happened to him once, you would think that he would ask for validation of an ID or whatever. I don't even believe that the kid lied about his age. I don't think that he did. I don't think James even asked, and I think that he just started doing that, and then the kid did feel uncomfortable and say that he was 16. And it seemed, from what the kid said, it seems like James just ignored that and continued. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that James knew the kid's age? Do you think the kid lied about his age? And I also just want to say, it's because of people like that Ethan kid or Jeffree Star with the false allegations and stuff that make it harder for real allegations to come forward. Because it's almost like after that happened last time and everybody just felt sorry for James Charles, it kind of feels like James felt like he was untouchable or something. Like maybe he felt like he was untouchable and he didn't care if the kid wasn't. Maybe he thought because Ethan was proven to be lying that maybe no one would even believe this kid, even if he did come forward. I don't know. But after he came forward, another kid came forward, and let's listen to what he has to say.
Alright guys, so I've decided that I want to talk about the incident, and I'm going to tell you guys the exact full story since a lot of you guys are coming at me and you guys seem very confused, so here's the full story. So basically, when James was getting cancelled for the whole Tati Westbrook and Sam Cooke situation, I decided to reach out to him via Instagram DMs. I don't vividly remember what I said to him, but I did say something like, if you need to talk to somebody since you're experiencing all this, like, you can definitely talk to me about it. I also added that I was single. Anyway, so James responds to my DMs and he goes, he's not really looking for anything, but I'm cute. So I was like, okay, cool. As a normal person would do, I was like, here's my number if you change your mind. Then he told me to send a video of me introducing myself, so I did. So right after that, he asked me for my Snapchat and I gave it to him, so he added me. So basically, we started talking on Snapchat and it didn't seem like he had any weird intentions. Like, we were getting to know each other and he seemed pretty genuine and he was actually really nice. So the first 2 days passed by, whatever, and the third day is where things started to get a little weird. Remember, he said that he wasn't looking for anything, right? So anyways, later on during that day, I went to the gym and I posted a snap of me flexing, and he responded to my story saying daddy and babe. So I was like, So I found it a little odd that he started calling me baby and daddy, because it's like, you don't call your friends that, right? Anyways, I slid that under the rug and I was like, you know what, like, I don't care. Because I was looking to talk to somebody, so he called me that and I was like, yay, like, he likes me. So anyways, my best friend comes and she picks me up and she goes, oh, let's go to the bar. So I was like, okay. And if you ask her, she'll literally tell you I was glued to my phone the whole time. We're having some life conversations and my best friend was getting mad because she's like, oh, you're supposed to be spending time with me, not talking to James. So after my best friend got upset with me, she decided to draw me home. Anyways, my manager gives me a call and she tells me she wants me to come to work. So I go to work for like a few hours and I come home around 2:45 a.m. And then I realized that I forgot to respond to James' messages, so I was like, oh fuck. So I messaged him and we're having a conversation on Snap and he starts getting a little flirty and I was like, let's just take it slow, but obviously he didn't want it. Anyways, he goes, send me a shirtless picture and I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care because I post that shit on my story, you know? So then he starts going, oh, send me pictures of your boxers, show me what you're wearing. And then he goes, let me see your armpits. And I was like, what?
Armpits? Who wants to see your armpits? That's really weird.
What? I didn't want to lose the opportunity to talk to him, so I just did what he said because, like, I was still shocked that he messaged me, you know? So anyways, he screenshots a photo that I sent him and I was like, yo, why the fuck are you screenshotting my shit? And he goes, oh, it's not like I'm gonna do anything with it. And I'm like, if you're not gonna do anything with it, why are you screenshotting it? Anyways, things started to get really weird because he started asking me for pics of this thing over here. And I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, do I send it? I didn't know what to do. I know a lot of you guys were saying, oh, like, you could have blocked him, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, like, when you're talking to somebody that you look up to, it's not as easy to do so. I did mention to him that I suffer from anxiety, depression, and that I said I came out of a very toxic relationship. He didn't seem to give a shit about that, and I feel like his biggest concern was how big my was. Anyways, after sending him a couple Snapchats, he started to question my confidence because I wouldn't send him a specific video that he wanted. After feeling uncomfortable, I did tell him that I wasn't going to send it, and he started to question my confidence, which I find very, very disrespectful. It's like, you should never question somebody's confidence because that could, honestly, I'm not going to lie, that specific thing that he said to me did kind of mess up my confidence. So a lot of you guys are forgetting the fact that I said, like I mentioned to him that I have anxiety. I told him I got out of a toxic relationship, and I even told him that I had depression. So he knew I was vulnerable. So obviously my vulnerable ass, I had to go with whatever he said because I didn't know what to do. I honestly didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. So at this point, I did start to suspect that he was using me for my nudes because going back to the me being vulnerable and me being in a toxic relationship, he didn't care about that. And I told him about my anxiety too, and he didn't care. So anyways, I started to feel like he was using me, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to document this shit because if I talk to anybody about it, they're not going to believe me. They're going to say you're lying. So for you guys that are saying I'm clout chasing, if I was clout chasing, I would have documented every conversation we had. Since we're running out of time, I'm going to create a part 6. I'm going to connect the puzzles for you guys because you guys are all confused. But I will prove to you guys right now that I didn't delete any messages. If you pause over here, it says 3:56 a.m., okay? So anyways, I'm just sitting there and I'm just really, really anxious and scared. And then he decides to video call me. As you can see, just wait. See, he video calls me. So after our call ended, and as you can see on the top, it says 3:59 a.m. That literally shows that I didn't delete any messages because he literally says that he can't talk, but he could text if you read it right there. Now I'll tell you the conversation that we had on the phone. Anyways, I hope I cleared that part up for you guys because there was like 500 of you people saying that I deleted my messages when I didn't, and I just proved that I didn't, so. I noticed that when I didn't want to do what he said, he started to give me attitude, and I told him, I literally said to him, I'm tired, I need to sleep. It's like 4 a.m. and I said that my parents are going to wake up, I need to sleep, and he didn't care. Like, he kept putting that under the rug. He's like, yo, go to the bathroom, do this, do that. And when I didn't do what he wanted to give me a whole lot of attitude because I didn't want to do what he wanted. Like, do you not have respect? So anyways, now I'm sitting there vulnerable and anxious, and I'm like, now I fucked up my chance with this person, and I felt like crap. Like, after telling him no and that I want to go to bed, he started to manipulate me, and he started to give me attitude, and he made me feel really bad. Anyways, I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and I tried to message him, and it said that he deleted me, so I felt used. Regardless of however long it took for me to come out with this story, it does not matter. I can speak about it 10 years down the road. That does not matter. The point is, what he did was wrong. As you guys can see, he was giving me attitude for not sending him nudes. And then I woke up unfriended, which I found disrespectful. He even questioned my confidence, which was even more disrespectful because you never question somebody's confidence. After that, I sent him a long-ass paragraph on Instagram, and he told me I was overwhelming him when he overwhelmed me.
That sounds really shitty. It's shitty you could just tell that James didn't give two shits about that guy or his feelings, his anxiety, nothing. He wanted what he wanted from that guy, and that's all he cared about. He did not care. But this kid came out with this story, and then he started. He had a few more posts on Twitter, or tweets, I guess. So let's take a look. Okay, so this kid says that he just got off the phone with the police, and he will update us soon in regards to the James Charles case. So he is in contact with the authorities, talking to them about his experience with James, and he also tweeted that he's never gotten so much hate in his life, and this is why he didn't want to come out with the story, and he's getting threats and everything like that. But when he said that he was talking to the police, people commented and was asking him why he was even talking to the police, because he wasn't underage when he talked to James, so he has no case. You can't get in trouble for treating somebody like shit, you know, whatever. This guy said, I never condone his behavior. He asked you for pictures, which is weird. Yes, you said no, but wouldn't block him because he's famous. That's on you, buddy. If you weren't trying to get recognition from him, you'd have walked away. You want to be famous and saw this as your way. Now, I don't agree with this. I completely understand why the kid wanted to continue talking to him. It's his idol, and he wanted to talk to the guy. I mean, he wanted to talk to him. It was his idol. So he didn't block him right away. That doesn't really mean, yeah, he wanted recognition from him. It's his idol. He wanted his idol to like him, but he still doesn't mean he can't feel uncomfortable. So, I mean, I find that ridiculous. I do find it shitty that James blocked him because he wouldn't send him nudes. I mean, that's whatever. But James is a huge influencer. There is a big power dynamic here. Like, he is extremely guilty, whether he thought the other kid was 18 or not, or whether this kid was 18 at the time or not. James is guilty for using his fans. He is using his fans and his platform like his own personal Tinder account, and he should not do that. He is taking advantage and manipulating his fans, and that's just not okay. A lot of these kids are underage, but a lot of them aren't. Even if you're not underage, you can still be manipulated, you can still be groomed, and you can still feel uncomfortable. Yeah, he's not committing a crime, but he's treating his fans like shit, and he's manipulating them and only talking to them so he could get off. That's not okay, and he needs to be held accountable for that. If you are an influencer and you have this huge influence over your fan base, if you ask them for a nude picture, they're going to be more apt to send you one because they want you to like them. They want to do what you say, and you know that they're going to do what you say because they're your fan. And so for you to even ask them for nudes is not okay. And then on top of that, these kids, if they don't do what you say, you immediately delete them. How do you think that makes them feel? It's really shitty, and he does need to be called out for treating his fans that way. That's not alright at all. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Honestly, my final thoughts on this is James, is he just not the smartest cookie, or does he have some sort of problem where he can't help himself? Because he should damn well know better by now. He's been set up, he's been in scandals before. He should know better to check and double check people's ages. And he should also know not to be sexting and sending naked pictures of yourself. You are famous. You should not be sending naked pictures of yourself at all. Actually, hang on. I came across something from him a couple years ago. Check this out.
And me. Please be careful as to what you do online. Please do not send risky pictures to anybody via text, via Snapchat, via any app that is currently popular right now. It is so incredibly dangerous. You never know what they're doing with that picture. They could screenshot it, they could screen record, they could take a picture even with their phone, so it's on the DL, and you would never, ever, ever know until it comes back 10 years later as blackmail. It is just so dangerous and so stupid. You never know who's watching, you never know who's recording, you never know what people's true intentions are. There are some really crappy people out there, and please learn from my mistakes. It's dangerous and it's very embarrassing if you get caught, so don't do that. And story time complete.
Okay, so he was actually talking about himself getting caught by his parents on Omegle, pleasuring himself when he was like 12 years old. So that happened a long time ago. So he's talking now about, that was a couple years ago, to never send risky pictures of yourself. You never know what they're going to do with it. You never know. So that tells me right there that he is not stupid. He knows it. So can he just not help himself? Like, what is it? He just can't help himself? I don't understand. I don't. He should not be doing this. He shouldn't be treating his fans this way. He knows better, and he's treating these people like just his own little toys to play with, which is weird because it's what that one guy said in that video about with the kid who faked it all. So maybe he didn't fake it. Like, honestly, I think in that situation, I think that the kid did purposely start out to bait James and to start a scandal and get him in trouble and for clout, but I think James still did send him some pictures maybe, or treat him like crap like he did that kid. He probably definitely did. And I do think that that kid was baiting James and playing into it, but he doesn't want the people he knows to know he was playing into it, and that's why he deleted all of his messages when he showed the receipts, because they said he would not be friends with a gay person. His friend said that, so I think that he wanted to kind of get the clout, but he was afraid if he played into it, he didn't want to get that kind of attention, so he deleted everything that he said. Okay guys, so I wanted to go ahead and leave this video on a different note. It looks like Jeffree Star has a new boyfriend, and everybody is wondering who this boyfriend is. He posted this on his Twitter earlier this week. He loves when I wear red. I love when he wears nothing. And then Perez Hilton put on his Twitter that he says, my sources tell me that Jeffree Star's new man is Sean Vanderwilt. And Sean Vanderwilt is Trisha Paytas' ex-boyfriend, and they had a really messy breakup, so everybody's wondering if it is Sean, if it's not Sean. But Jeffree did post on his Instagram, and who commented? Then none other than Sean Vanderwilt. And he says, I'll take you to the candy shop. Now, if that isn't bad, then why was it deleted? Those comments were deleted shortly after they were posted. So if he's not his new man, why would they delete those comments? But I can tell you this, the guy in the picture looks nothing like Kanye West, so it's probably not him. Aww. Oh my god, you guys, I totally forgot to show you guys. So on that kid's Twitter, he did put up another post about another YouTuber, and everybody's wondering who this mystery person is, but he said, James Charles isn't the first YouTuber to have taken advantage of me. There's another YouTuber who violated my entire life, harassed me, attacked me, came to my house and threatened me. I'll save that story for later though, because I be already filed a lawsuit against that person. He also says, and I have all this on video with the YouTuber's faces in it. Hundreds of text messages of this person harassing and threatening my life. Just wait till the lawsuit is over and I'm going to speak on that too. So a lot of people are wondering who that mystery YouTuber is, but he did say I have these YouTubers' faces in it. So I wonder if it's more than one, if it's two YouTubers. But I do find it a little odd that he has had more experiences with more YouTubers. Like, who has this many negative experiences with different really large influencers? It's just a little weird. But I mean, if like he had a negative experience, I'm glad that he stood up for himself and filed a lawsuit. That's great. Alright guys, this is the final look. I am finally done. What do you guys think? I don't know what I was going for. Something blue, because I'm wearing blue, so I accomplished that at least, I guess. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Jeffree Star's new boyfriend, James Charles, and this whole mess that he's in again. And this kid getting ready to do some interviews. That'll be cool to watch, I guess. So let me know. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. I love hearing everything that you guys have to say about everything that we talk about on this channel. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You know you want to. I did just put up a new vocal cover. I haven't put up a vocal cover since like October, and I'm really excited about this one. I was doing vocal covers a lot, but I was literally singing over top of a radio or like speakers. So it was shitty quality, and I didn't want shitty quality for you guys, so I got some recording software. I learned how to use it, and I've been working on that ever since, and I finally got it down enough to do some vocal covers. So let me know what you guys think. If you like metal music, check those out. And I do have some new videos coming up for you guys. I got some new information about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard and their trial and everything going on with that, and some new information on Marilyn Manson, and I have a free Britney video coming up about Britney Spears as well, so I'm excited about all of those. So check out those, wait for those. If you guys haven't yet, please turn on the bell icon so you can be notified anytime I post a new video. And until next time, you guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind. Bye guys!